interesting. I had some very, very interesting questions and managed to answer most of them. And what was really interesting about yesterday's one, two things happened. One, a lovely friend of mine, Julie, was on the call, and she had a specific problem that I was able to help her with. And she said that changed her business. That changed her business overnight. So Julie, great stuff. Well, so good that you were on the call there, and that I was able to help you there, and just by running these live events. The other interesting thing, the second thing that happened was that I started getting a lot of spammy kind of content, or comments, not content, comments. And that was interesting. So I'm not sure who exactly that was targeting me. Maybe just one person, because it just kept on coming. Every time I would block the person, they would just keep on coming back. And I tried to stop it, but it kept on coming. Or it was a lot of different people, which meant that I was starting to get a bit more exposure for that video. So maybe something in the YouTube algorithm worked in a way to give me more exposure, which meant more people would join in. So that was really interesting. A couple of interesting observations. So as I've said, before in many of my previous live calls, what I'm doing here is a bit of an experiment. I am really just testing out a new strategy, I guess, a new method, new technology, to see what would happen if I follow through on this over a longer period of time, and build it up, see what happens. My theory is that through doing these live events, I can get a lot better engagement with you, with my audience, especially the people who watch this live. Now, with these Q&A sessions, I'm not promoting them out anywhere, and that's by design. I want to see just what happens with them. I want to see how many people we can get on the call without promoting it. The other ones that I'll be running, say once a week or once a month, that's what I'm planning at least, they'll be promoted out a lot more through the YouTube network, through Facebook, for Twitter, through my email database as well, wherever I can, basically, to get more people on the calls. So they will be bigger, and they'll have a lot more people on the call. Just want to see what happens with these smaller ones though. So normally I wait for a few more people to join before I open it up for Q&A. But if there's no questions today, I might just keep it short and sweet and call it a day. But if you do have any questions, go ahead and ask away, and I'm happy to answer them for you. The interesting thing about this particular setup is that only people who are live can actually see the questions. So people who are not live, people watching the recording of this, you don't see that. You don't see the questions, which is a little bit annoying. YouTube used to publish the comments with your video once it went, once it was finished. But nowadays, the comments don't get published. The chat room, which is really annoying. So I wish YouTube would bring that back, because it shows a record of the conversation. I wish there was a way for YouTube to bring that back in, so that people can see that history of the conversation. So welcome if you just joined, just opening up a Q&A session again. Yesterday was a really interesting one. We had a good bunch of people on the call, had a lot of fun, and answered some really key questions for people. Julie was on the call as one example, who I managed to help with her live video streaming stuff. And of course, it wasn't just me. I actually couldn't help her exactly. I recommended she does something on iPhone, but she was on Android. And then Mike Brown, who happened to be on the call as well, he made a recommendation for her. So I think, this sort of thing is about community. It's not about me. I don't want this to be about me. I want this to be about you guys, about us as a community, helping each other out. So if you have any specific questions, love to give it a crack in answering it for you right now. It's just a bit of an unannounced Q&A session, and see where it leads us. So say hi, even if you just want to say hi. Be good to have a chat. With these, as I said before, with these sort of calls, normally I don't expect many people. Some of them I don't actually get anybody watching for a while, depending on how long I run them for. But it's interesting, which is also part of the experiment. When I used to do this on Periscope, I would, without fail, get 10, 20, 30 people on the Periscopes without any promotion. So they had a really good algorithm. This is when I was doing it brand new the first time. So it's interesting, on my channel, I've got almost 40,000 subscribers. The question is, what's happening here? Are people just not getting the updates? Are people not interested in live events? It could be. Or is there something else that's happening? It's just not getting, it's just not getting through there. People are just not seeing it. Not quite sure. But anyway, if you do have any questions, happy to answer them for you now. Otherwise, I'm going to bring this to a close in the next 2 or 3 minutes, and leave it at that. Actually, if you're on the call right now, could you just let me know what the picture quality is like? I've been having some trouble with my new phone lately, like with the picture of my face being pixelated. So it's still streaming at 720p, but the picture is pixelated. So can you tell me, what does it look like and sound like to you? Does it sound all right? So just as a bit of a setup, I guess I can show you guys my setup. So what I have here, actually, do you want to see my setup? I'll reveal this to you, just you, one person watching right now. If you say yes, I will show you my setup that I'm using for this particular live stream. But you got to say something. You got to say hi, leave a comment or something, so that I know that you're there. Maybe you're not sure where to leave comments. If you're on desktop, it'll be over on that side. If you're mobile, have a look below the video on, was it vertical, the vertical view. Below the video, I think there's a little area you can click on to help you leave comments. So have a look for that. And it should work on both iPhone and Android. But if not, don't stress about it. Okay, welcome if you've just joined. This is an impromptu Q&A session again. Yesterday I had a real good fun session, and unfortunately had to close it down. I got a little bit busy there with comment spam, and so I had to close it down. So I thought I'd run another one today again. But we managed to help a lot of people yesterday, and one of them was Julie. Not sure if you're on the call again today, Julie. Unfortunately, I can't see people, who they are. Actually, let me see. Maybe I can. No, I can't. The only way that I can see if you're on the call is if you leave a comment, leave a comment in the chat room. Then I can. Actually, let me bring them up. My apologies. Janaya, I am sorry. It looks like your comment was done like 4 minutes ago and I didn't see it. The silly interface didn't show me. Anyway, how you doing? How old am I? Well, I am 38 at the moment. This year I'll be 39. Next year I'll be 40. Unbelievable. Okay. We've got Messi and Krog saying howdy. How you doing? I like your profile picture. What is it? It looks like some sort of a Simpsons caricature of you, perhaps. Very cool. Yeah, okay. So happy to answer any questions you've got right now. I'm only doing this for a few more minutes. I'm planning to do these, I'm thinking once a day, unannounced. Not sure what time yet. I was thinking 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but maybe I should keep it random, to catch more, different people throughout the day and throughout the week. Let me know if you've got any specific questions, and I'll go ahead and do my best to answer them for you. In the meantime, what can I tell you? What would you like to know? How was the day? Actually, here's something interesting. Today was, last time I checked, 40 degrees Celsius here in this area where I live. It is hot, man. It's like really, really hot. And on top of that, the humidity is just incredible. Crazy, crazy. So if you like Australia and you like heat, this is the place to be. We've got Eden in Perth saying, hey Gids. Eden, the DJ guy, how you doing, man? Loving this platform. I just got a live stream on my Facebook personal profile, but really want to get it on my business page. Yeah, right. Sounds like there's a bit of confusion I'm not sure if it's a confusion, but it seems a bit harder to get it on your page, right, than on your profile. I just had a chat to my buddy Leslie Samuel this morning from Become a Blogger, and he said that same thing. So Have you tried it out yet? Is it any good? Is it worth investing your time in? Because interestingly, I downloaded a really interesting report yesterday talking about YouTube versus Facebook. And there's been so many reports going around saying that Facebook's crushing YouTube and all sort of stuff. And to a certain degree, it's true. Like in the number of views, like I think Facebook's reporting 8 billion views a day now for their video views. That's insane. It isn't, whichever way you look at that, it's an insane number of views. But of course, Facebook measures their number of views very differently to YouTube. Facebook measures it as, after 3 seconds, and it's autoplay, which is really, not very accurate. Whereas YouTube only counts it after 30 seconds. So that's a massive difference, and YouTube doesn't autoplay. So really, really, really interesting. But anyway, this report said that apparently YouTube is, I think it was 11 times bigger than Facebook when it comes to video watch time. 11 times bigger. So this was done in October, and of course Facebook's grown a lot, but so has YouTube. But I think Facebook's growing faster than YouTube at this stage. But anyway, that was really, really interesting statistics. So I don't think you should ignore YouTube at all. It's still the 800-pound gorilla. In fact, I think Facebook and YouTube are the two 800-pound gorillas, and you might as well use both those, as a strategy for you to grow your business. So Eden is asking, wondering if you can embed this YouTube live on your blog. You need to get verified to get business feature. Absolutely. This video that you're watching right now, I can embed it anywhere. I can embed it behind a members area if I want to, so that only paying members can see it. I can embed it on a blog post. I can embed it on my home page. I can it's like any other video. I mean, even you yourself can embed my video on your blog if you want to. You can do it right now if you click on the share function. It's just like any other normal YouTube video. You can embed it right now, and everybody who goes to wherever you embed it will be able to watch it. This is one of the reasons why I'm so excited about YouTube Live. You still have so many more features compared to Facebook. But to be honest, Facebook they are catching up like crazy. So I don't know what YouTube's doing. They're twiddling their thumbs with this live streaming stuff. They really need to get the app out there. They really need to get the ball rolling, get people excited about YouTube Live specifically, and help people build their audiences with live events. I'm going to put this microphone here because it looks cool, even though I'm not using it. Why not? Actually, it's in the way. All right, see what else do we have here? We have, I'm going to scroll through these. Okay, from Messiani Croak. All right, what do you think is more important, waiting until your production values are high, or producing content with your current skill set and focusing on the quality of the content? Awesome question. And I'm going to give a slightly different answer. My answer has changed over the years mainly because what I've learned, but also how YouTube and Facebook and the market has changed. So production value is important, absolutely, but it's not the most important thing. Content is also very important, but it's also not the most important thing. For me, the most important thing is engagement. So how well you can engage your audience, whether it's through a recorded video that's really well produced, whether it's through a live session like I'm doing right now, whether it's through a pre-recorded and pre-edited thing that's maybe averagely produced. How well can you engage your audience? And a lot of it comes down to not necessarily the skill in editing and putting together a video. It comes down to how well you, the presenter on the video, can engage the audience. It comes down to the topic, it comes down to the medium, it comes down to how current it is, how topical it is, if it's controversial, all this sort of stuff. There's been some very, very average looking videos that are super controversial, and then boom, they just get incredible exposure. They go totally viral. So it's not so much, the emphasis for me is not these days on production value or content as such. It's about engagement and thinking really about what engages. And you do that through content and through your video production, but it's more thinking about engagement and how can you really connect with your audience. I mean, if you think about all the massive sites right now, Facebook, YouTube, Google, Twitter, Instagram, all these things, and what's happening with mobile, why are these things going so viral? Why are these things so incredibly popular? Why are we so addicted to our technology at the moment? Why? Well, my theory is that we are creatures of connection. We have a very strong desire to connect. And what's happened with our technology is that it's removed that real connection that we can have with people face to face. It's been removed. I mean, look at young people these days, younger people, older folks too. I mean, everybody's on their phones, right? It's not face to face anymore, it's face to screen. And so it's removed that real connection and that real satisfaction we as humans get through connecting with others. And now we are searching for that connection through other things like Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, whatever. And there's been some recent studies done actually relating to addiction, right? Addiction. Now just compare, say, checking your Facebook page to addiction. Imagine it's comparable to an addiction, which it is. It's totally addicting, right? What they found in these studies was that whenever you removed true connection from people, they would become much more likely to become addicted to a substance or whatever the addiction was. Okay? Whenever those people were brought back into a community where there were connection again, true connection with a community and like-minded people where they felt loved and they felt belonged, those desires for addiction, for the substances, addictive substances, completely disappeared. Very recent work done. I wish there would be a study. This might be a study out of the moment with social media, and that is really an addiction, and it's like a replacement for the real connection. So just coming back to your question again. Sorry, it's a long-winded answer to the question, but today in our society we lack real connection, and people are searching for it. So if you can build that connection in a real way, as real as possible through your video content, you're a step closer. And I think people are searching for that. This is why I'm doing this live thing. So I'm connecting with you guys right now. I mean, there's only a handful of people watching here right now. I'm connecting with you guys right now. For me, it's much more real. For you, it's much more real. And I feel like I can serve you and provide much more value through this live medium. I mean, this is almost as good as face-to-face. Almost. It's not quite there. All right, let's see what else we got here. That's a bit of a sermon there. Oh my goodness. Okay, great question. I love that question. So we've got Eden, the DJ guy, saying, yep, I agree, Facebook stats are a bit skewed, absolutely, and it will show live. I'm not sure what that question is, Eden, the DJ guy, just maybe elaborate a bit more on that. We've got Hardy and Tola saying, hi Gideon, I have your rapid video blogging course, wow, from way back. Are the strategy and tactics still applicable today, or has it changed? Are you updating the course? Hardy, I'm not updating the course at the moment. Unfortunately, I've just been so busy with my other businesses, Splashia and V-Roll, now getting back into my YouTube channel again. And is this video a bit skewed? Let me just get it straighter. Yeah, that feels better. Cool. So I haven't been updating the course. I haven't updated the report for years. So in terms of the tactics, some of them are probably quite outdated, and the platform like YouTube is outdated, but the strategy, the overall strategy, is still very much applicable and very much what I use today for growing my businesses. And the main strategy being that you use YouTube or social media to build an audience, and build trust with that audience. You then redirect that audience into your own business assets, like your own email database, for example, by giving something away for free, whether it's a report or a video or an audio thing or a piece of software or a software trial or a webinar. So you use your social media following to build that email database, and then from that email database, that becomes your backbone for your business, where you do all your promotions from. So that's exactly what I was teaching in rapid video blogging. I had a few other ideas in there as well for making videos go viral. So look for the principles, the strategic principles there. They still apply. The tactics, they change all the time. It's like music. You've got the bass, the lower sort of that, modulates in music, and you've got the notes, the melody. Now the melody changes all the time, but the bass kind of, doesn't change much. It kind of stays the same. So it's very similar in business as well. You've got your tactics, the musical notes at the top, and they change all the time. And then your strategic principles down the bottom, they don't change much. And so look for those principles within the report and also in the course. And that'll take you a long way. Okay, let's see. We have Headstrong Elite. You like money? I don't think I like money. I think I more like what money can do. It certainly gives you options. But what I like a lot more than money, is being able to do something that I love, and being able to do something that gives me fulfillment. And I've talked about this in one of my previous calls. For me, that fulfillment comes through serving, through giving, and specifically through giving my gift to the world. And that's a unique thing for all of us. I've got a unique gift. You've got a unique gift. My wife has a unique gift. My daughters have unique gifts. We all have something unique that we can give to the world. And these gifts are based on our inborn, natural talents, stuff that we're born with. And quite often we confuse natural ability with skill. We mix them up and we screw them up. And sometimes what you get is people that have developed skills that are totally independent from their abilities, and they do well at it, but they struggle and they're unhappy and they're unfulfilled. Whereas you get some other folks who look at their natural abilities and develop their skills based on those abilities and strengthen those natural abilities. That's where you win. That's when you win. So that's what I've been doing throughout my whole career, is trying to look at my own inner strengths, natural abilities, and then building my skills based on that, and then using that to create my gift for the world. Okay, so and part of my gift is creation. Part of my gift is creating new things, creating solutions, creating courses, creating software, and I've applied myself to the video industry because I love it. I love video. So I think that's really important. So money, I think money comes as a result when you give your gift. When you give your gift to the world, money comes naturally as a result. So I think rather than search for money, and rather than think about starting a business or growing a business to make more money, think about how you can find your inner strengths and your natural talents and abilities and use that to create a gift for the world. And then, just make sure you give it in an area that there's enough people who would need that and would be willing to, reward you for it. And then your chances of making a living and making a good income is a lot higher. And the end result is you'll be fulfilled. You'll feel like you're of service and that you're worth something and that you're bringing value to the world. And you'll make money at the same time as well. It's nothing worse than feeling worthless, right? Being in a place where you just don't feel like anybody cares about what you're doing. And that can often happen when you build that skill that's not based on your natural abilities. You build like a skill level and you never really become good at it. And so no one really appreciates you for doing that stuff that you're skillful at. And then you start getting the sense of feeling worthless. And in a way, you set yourself up for that because your skills, if not based on your natural talents, are a little bit worthless. They're still worth something, but they're not worth as much as they could be. They're not worth as much as they could be if you do it the right way around. Anyway, that's my hobby horse. I'm gonna jump to the next question now and see what's coming up there. Okay, question from Hardy and Tolis. Again, if you have to start over again, what's the best way to build authority online? Okay, fantastic question. Well, see, here's the thing. If I would start over again and it was 2008, I would be doing it very differently to if I was to start over again today, I think. And the main reason is that there's just been so many changes with platforms, changes with, social media came in, since I started back in 2006. There's just been so many changes. So how I would start again to build authority quickly online. I think I would start in a place once again that is based on my inner core strengths, my inner God-given talents, so to speak. I would start there, and I'd think about how I can use that to create value for others. And once I have clarity on that, then I would probably, if I would start from scratch, I had zero money, like $0 in my bank account. I would go and find people that I can give that gift for and provide that value for, and that they can pay me for my time. That's going to be your easiest way to get a conversion into a transaction, right? So it's the easiest transaction is to do like consultancy work. We've got a valuable service. It's based on your natural abilities, preferably, and you can provide that service to someone else, and they pay you money. You pay you for your time. Okay, so that's the one end of the scale. Once I've got that going, once I've got 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 clients, I'll start using that money to reinvest in what I'm doing online. So I would definitely use video, there's no doubt. And I would jump straight into live video streaming. Like, it's so easy now. I'm doing this from my phone, my iPhone. I've got a special mic plugged in here, but you don't even need that. I mean, it's not even that special. This mic's probably about $30 or something, or $100 at the most. It's a little lapel mic. I just plug it into my phone. Boom. I do have some nice lights here, nice background. But if you've seen some of my other calls, I'm somewhere in my house or somewhere in my office or outside even. You don't need a studio like this. So I do live video. I'd really get into live video. I'll get into YouTube Live. I'd get into Periscope. I'd get into maybe Snapchat. Snapchat's getting a lot of exposure now. Facebook, but probably the two I'd focus on most is Facebook Live and YouTube Live. And I just go crazy with it. Boom, 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 every day. Just get stuff out there. Build my audience. Build audience and build trust. I wouldn't worry about monetization. I get my money for my contract work at the beginning. Then just build audience. Because as you build that audience, you'll be able to find contracts easier as well. Contract work much easier because people go, wow, this guy's got a profile. I better do work with him. Anyway, you build that up until you're at a point where you can either create your own products or services, or team up with someone else who can create the products and services for you. Because if you've got audience and you've got trust with that audience, it just comes down to making the right offer to that audience through a product or service that meets a certain need or problem or frustration. So that's what I would do, and I would try and do 80-20. I would try and do whatever comes easiest first. I would try not to get bogged down on technology. I would try not to have everything perfect to start off with. I mean, this little live event here that I'm running, it's not perfect. I'm not even wearing a nice shirt. My goodness, I didn't even shave. I'm actually trying to grow a beard, but I'm not sure if I'm very successful. I didn't really brush my hair, whatever. It's not perfect. But I know you guys, I'm connecting with you right now. You're like, let me know, is this engaging, what we're doing now? I mean, if it's not, I'll stop. Hopefully it's engaging. I mean, this is engaging, right? Live video streaming is engaging. So I just want to engage with you guys. So, the big tip there is when you're building your audience, forget about being perfect. Forget about being perfect and just think about connecting with your audience. That's what it's about, connecting. I can't stress that enough. If I could have one big word that summarizes the whole year, for me, it's connection. That's one of the words. I've got a few others. Well, connection is just huge. And I think it's something that people are overlooking in a big way. All right, so let's see. What else we got here? Okay, that was a fantastic question. I love it. Okay, we've got Meathead Online. Hey, Gideon, I've been following you on and off for about 6 years. 6 years, wow, amazing. One of the first, for your first membership programs. Oh, wow, okay, so that definitely goes back a long time. Become a Blogger, I think it was. I had other things before that as well. Become a Blogger was my first big one. I now run a full-time marketing business for the last 2 years. Thanks a lot. Hey, wonderful. That's really good. I hope something I've done in the past will have helped you. Meathead Online, love your profile name. If it did, let me know and we can chat about it. We can talk about if there's anything specific that you think I might have helped you with, and that someone else might be able to learn from here as well on today's call. So great, congratulations, well done. Okay, one from, where is it? Well, lots of comments coming through. Okay, we've got Hardy and Toll is saying, thanks Gideon, this is great, I hope you do it more often. Yeah, man, I'm loving this as well. I think for me, this is the best way to provide value. It's the best way to connect with you and serving you in the best way that I can. I think I am blessed with the ability to speak naturally and to engage naturally and to and just to be real. At least that's, I mean, it's not, I don't naturally try that in an artificial way. It just comes naturally to me. So I'm really, you know, I appreciate that. Although I've been doing it for a long time as well. So it comes with practice too. So I think this is really a good way of serving my audience in the best possible way. Okay, let's see. Question from Headstrong Elite. How do you feel about religion and do you have one? Okay, I was wondering when that question would pop up because I actually had a comment, more religious sort of comment on my channel the other day from when I had a very interesting topic about, not too dissimilar to today's stuff. And okay, so that is obviously quite a sort of a personal thing. So I want to be careful not to necessarily align or offend with anything in particular here, but I was brought up as a Christian. I'm not. I don't go to church anymore myself, but I do have a very strong spiritual connection. I do believe that there is a spiritual world of some sort. I don't know exactly what it is, and you know, I mean, who does, right? But I do believe there's something there, and but I'm not sure if any of us can really ascertain exactly what that is, and perhaps something. It is actually quite a subjective thing. Maybe it's objective. I mean, it's difficult to prove. That's the thing. You can't prove any of this stuff scientifically. It really comes down to a very subjective take on it, which makes the whole discussion so difficult. But certainly I do have religious roots in my background, but more lately it's been a much more spiritual journey for me. And you know, I think I'm a lot more, I'm actually very spiritually orientated, but maybe that can be a video for another session where I can dig into that a lot more. But just a note there, what I know about spirituality actually has a massive impact on how I create, how I live my life, how I create value in my business, and how I create success in my business too. So certainly it's a big part of what I do. It's a big part of what I think about and read about. I love philosophy, so and it's very much sort of the foundational stuff of everything that I do with my business as well. Okay, so hopefully I didn't offend anybody there or scare anyone away with that answer, but let's go. I've actually never publicly said that in a live session like this. All right, we've got Eden, the DJ guy, saying, sounds exactly like what I did to learn DJing. Okay, so you're a DJ. All right, so I was wondering about that. I mean, you are actually a DJ. What sort of music, Eden? Let me know. Okay, Headstrong saying it's engaging, fantastic. Good to hear. Question from Rishab Agarwal. Is After Effects, oops, this comment's just coming through a bit fast. Is After Effects or Final Cut better? I don't know. I think it depends on what you want to do. Well, my video editor at least, I don't have experience in it myself, but my video editor uses After Effects for all of our video editing and all our templates and this sort of thing. And Final Cut, it's actually nobody in our team that uses Final Cut, but if you're on Mac, then Final Cut seems like a good option. I used to use it, but lately I've just been using, if I do videos myself, I've just been using ScreenFlow. And the equivalent for that on PC is Camtasia. Very simple, straightforward software. Question from Eden, the DJ guy. One of the best takeaways I learned from you was that you don't have to be the best. You just need to be over a certain threshold. Yeah. Your content. You still need to be the best that you can, Eden, but your content, whatever you put out there, doesn't have to be as polished. It just needs to have that threshold level to get out there. Let's just finish that comment. So many people overestimate what they need to do to be successful. Yeah, absolutely. And it comes down to 80-20 again, like that. You've got to find what is that 20% top most important things you got to do to succeed, and get rid of all the other 80%. Just get rid of it. Don't do it. And once you figure that out, and you can get to that threshold level of good enough quality, boom, that's when things start happening for you. Okay, Messiani Croak is also saying it's engaging. Fantastic. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that name right. I'm so sorry if I'm screwing that up. We've got Headstrong Elite saying, if you do a lot of stuff like this, I'm subscribing. Oh, okay, yeah. Well, I'm planning to do this. I'm planning to do this every day. So what do you mean exactly? Like the sort of religious kind of topic stuff, or the Q&A side of it? What is it? What sort of information are you after? So question from Headstrong Elite is, what is being selfish, and is it a bad thing? Ooh, okay, so some good philosophical questions here today. So what is being selfish? Well, I guess my take on it is selfishness is very much tied to the ego, right? And the ego is pretty much a false representation of the true inner self. That's my understanding of it. So let me say that again. So selfishness is tied to the ego, and the ego is a false representation of the true inner self. Okay, so, and I think this is what goes haywire in the world. Most people operate from the ego, the false self, which is like a bastardized copy of the inner true self. Okay, and it's separate, and it's kind of, the ego is kind of crazy. The ego is extremely protective, extremely controlling, and will do whatever it can to preserve itself. Okay, whereas the inner true self knows that that there is plenty, there's enough for everyone, and there's no need to worry about preservation, because everything is always, and it always will be. You know, there's abundance, there's overabundance, there's infinite abundance. That's what the inner self knows intuitively. But the ego, for some reason, goes and says, no, there's only enough for a certain number of people, and other egos out there, and I've got to do whatever I can to protect myself. So the ego doesn't want to disappear. That's the last thing the ego wants. It'll do whatever it can to survive. And so what often happens is that it would go out there and be selfish and try and get everything that serves the ego. And so when you operate from the ego, that's when you also go into that groove of unhappiness, being unfulfilled, and only serving the wrong self. You know, you're serving, you know, the wrong thing. And that's my quick take on it. So I think selfishness, in the way that we understand it at least, is an ego thing. So as soon as you remove the ego, selfishness disappears. What could sometimes happen is that people could mistaken true inner confidence, that's based on the true inner self, they could mistake that with ego. Now the difference is, ego is arrogant, and the confidence that comes from the inner self is self-confidence and self-esteem. They're two different things. They might look the same on the outside, but they operate very differently from very different places. And so what you got to try and do is get rid of the ego, operate from the inner true self, and you'll be much better off. You feel much more fulfilled in your life. So that's a pretty deep topic, that one. If you guys are interested in that, I can talk more about that in other sessions as well. But definitely that's that I think that's what it comes down to. So okay, here's the trick though, or the difficult thing. Ego is a bastard, because, excuse my French, but it really is, because we all have it, except Eckhart Tolle perhaps, and maybe some of the sages of the past. But I still have ego. There's no doubt about it, and it's the ego. Also, it comes back to this video production thing and video, looking good on video and all this sort of stuff. The ego wants you to be perfect and wants you to look good, and because it has this fear of rejection as well, right? So as soon as you get rid of the ego, you don't worry so much about what you look like and sound like on video anymore and the quality of a video. You worry more about connecting and having a heartfelt connection with your audience. So ego is a pain, you know. So we all have it. We all have to deal with it. But I think the key is to become aware of it, to become aware of the fact that you have an ego. And once you have that awareness, you can spot it whenever it pops up. Whenever it pops up, its ugly head. And then once you're aware of it, it's like shining a light into the darkness. It disappears. You know. Just recently, I was in a meeting with someone, and this person said something that made my ego flare up. And it was just like, it was a business meeting, right? My ego just went crazy internally. I could feel it, you know. I could feel me going, oh, I'm not liking what this guy's saying. I want to fight against it. Luckily, I caught myself. I was aware enough to go, hey, that's ego. That's ego talking there. And then all of a sudden I could go, hey, ego. My inner true self could go, hey, ego, just chill, man. There's enough for everyone. Just chill. And as soon as I said that to myself inside, boom, the ego disappeared and I could just flow, and the meeting went on much, much better. We got, you know, it was an awesome meeting at the end of the day. So interesting little lesson there about ego. All right, what else do we have here? Okay, so Headstrong Elite saying, I mean the live Q&A. Yeah, so I will be doing these a lot more. I'm planning to do them every day. Actually, what time is good for you guys? I mean, this is like afternoon time here in Australia. I'm thinking of doing it like morning time Australia, like 10 a.m. Australian time, Brisbane time, which is 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the States. What's a good time for you guys? I mean, you're probably going to say this time right now because you're watching right now, but I'm still figuring out what exact time I should do. Maybe I should do more than one a day. Okay. Question from Meathead Online saying, I would love to, whoa, sorry, I'm just going to scroll up here with this little app. I would love, see, I've only got a handful of people on here, like, and once I get hundreds of people on here when I promote it out, I don't know how I'm going to deal with comments, so I quite like these smaller ones. All right, so question from Meathead Online. I would love to chat sometime for sure. I found that it's all about self-confidence when selling your product or service, while keeping your content simple to understand and straight to the point. Yeah, really, really good point. That self-confidence that's based on the inner true self, not an ego, that's where it's at. So if you can achieve that in your content as well, that's going to help you a great deal. So yeah, man, let's chat. I don't know where you are on the world, if you're in Brisbane or Sunshine Coast, or, you know, if I'm traveling, I go to Singapore quite a bit, I go to America quite a bit. So if you're around, let's catch up. Love to catch up for coffee or lunch or something. That goes for anybody watching this. Okay, what else do we have here? How do you feel about chubby dogs? I love them. Thank you, Headstrong. I love chubby dogs. Okay, what else do we have here? From Joey the person. Hey Joey, good to see you here again. Hey Gideon, your video quality is looking great right now. Yeah, I'm a bit closer to my modem, so I think that helps a bit. Yesterday I was upstairs, so the Wi-Fi signal had to go through a bunch of, you know, through the floor and some walls, so that made a difference. Okay, what else do we have here? Okay, Vault Mahjong saying, Gideon, I have a question. How much is paid every 1,000 views? Okay, so you're talking here about the AdSense program or the partner program with YouTube. Not a lot. It depends on a number of things. So of course, with the partner program, I think the partner, you as a partner get 55% and YouTube gets 45% of the ad income, or the other way around. I can't remember which way it is. I think it's in your favor, like you get 55%. But it also depends on the popularity and the demand for that video, for advertisers to show their ads on that video. Because say there's a video, it's super popular, and like 1 million advertisers want to show their ad on that same video, the price is going to go up, right? That's just how it works. So increased demand, the price increases. So it depends a lot on how popular and how much demand your video content is as to how much you'll make. And it can go up and down as well depending on how demand changes. But it's not a lot. In general, it's not a lot. You really got to have like millions and millions of views to be able to make a solid living from it. In general, what I recommend is you don't use that as your main monetization strategy. What you do instead is you build your audience on YouTube, but then transfer that over to to other areas. Okay, so let's see, what else do we have here? Okay. Well, okay, where are we? So, from Winner World, why don't you make shout out series? I'm not sure what that means. What is a shout out series? Another one from Volt Mahjong. I'm not sure I'm going to read this. Okay, some interesting questions here. Comments, I should say. Yeah, man. Like seriously, with the spam, I'm not sure what's up with that, dude. Like, why are you so why are you so angry or something? Let's see what else we got here. So Messi and Croak saying he's in Brisbane as well. So yeah, let's meet up. Okay. Let's see what else we got here. Yeah, trolling, you know, whatever. No, I've had actually Meathead online. I've had trolls before. I'm not sure why people do it. I guess, you know, get a bit of a kick out of it, I guess. You know, that's the thing with this app. I can't get rid of, I can't moderate the comments, which is really annoying. If I don't have my laptop with me actually. Maybe I do. Let's see if it stops. If they get another one, I'll see if I can get my computer out, or I'll just bring the call to a close because I've been at it for 46 minutes, much longer than I thought I would. Okay, so I remember 6 months ago when you had an ego that made me not really mad, but more of a perfectionist. How can I get rid of this ego? I had an ego when I had an ego. So, right, so how to get rid of your ego? Tough question. I think the best way, like I said before, is to become aware of it. The ego. Okay, here's an easy way to distinguish the ego desires from the inner self desires. So ego will always assume that there's a scarcity of something, and because of that, will want to fight to preserve. Right. So whenever you get that sense of there's not enough, and if you've got to scramble to get more or to compete with someone else, you know, that's the ego talking. So whenever there's a competitive environment, that's ego. Whenever there's a sharing and giving environment, that's coming from the inner self in general. Okay, so that's one way of looking at it. But it can take a long time to really identify this ego, become aware of it, and then, you know, once you become aware of it, it becomes a lot easier to catch it. Okay. So let's see what else we got here. Question from Katie Sousa: why did Compaq stop making computers? I don't know actually, but I'm glad they stopped because their computers weren't very good. Actually, their first computers were quite nice. My first computer was a Compaq and it was a good one, but then I don't know, the quality went out the window. So Winner World is saying I need to be a bit funny. People like watching funny videos. You know, funny is not really my thing. Not at the moment anyway. Like when I was a kid, I grew up in South Africa, right? So I spoke Afrikaans. That was my mother tongue. And I remember when I was about 9 years old, I was called the class clown. I was the funniest guy you could imagine in Afrikaans. Then when I was 16, I immigrated. And then I had to speak English. Now, you know, I couldn't speak English, so I couldn't tell jokes in English anymore. I couldn't transfer my jokes from Afrikaans into English. So I became a lot more serious, I guess, when I turned 16. Maybe I just grew up, I don't know. But I think that might have something to do with it, the reason, you know, the fact that I immigrated. Do I want to answer hard questions? I'm not sure, depending on what kind of hard you mean there. Meathead Online is saying, you live in Brisbane now. I live in Toowoomba, but I have sorry, the comments is coming through too fast. It's a little bit, this interface is not the best. Live in Toowoomba, but a sales rep's in Brisbane. What is the good way to contact you for a meetup sometime? Tough one, that one. I don't want to publish my contact details here live, Meathead Online. But I'm actually on the Sunshine Coast, so maybe Facebook, you can try and connect with me on Facebook. That might be the best way. If you just search my name, you should be able to find me and send a message. That's probably the best way of doing it. All right. Okay. So yeah, all right. So it doesn't look like there's any more sensible questions at the moment right now. Thank you for everybody who's contributed, even you trollers out there. You know, it's, I guess, I guess you guys must be finding this kind of engaging if you're still watching. So good on you for staying and watching. I don't understand it, but you know, if you get a kick out of trolling, you know, real people and disrupting things like that, you know, I'm glad I was able to provide you with some value. But for everyone else there, thank you for your great questions. There's a couple more. A lot of spam questions. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Great. So I think I'm going to bring this to an end. We've doing this for 50 minutes. I really was just going to do it for a few, like 10 minutes, 20 minutes. I didn't realize we'd get so many questions for this, but it turned out to be quite a cool way of doing this. You know, a cool session, covered some really cool stuff, and looking forward to doing a lot more of these. And Bleep and Jeep is just asking that you figure out how to ban them. Yes, you can ban trollers or people that, you know, like commenting on your video by on the normal interface. I'm just on my phone right now, so I can't do it. But yeah, certainly you can ban people. I'm not sure how effective it is, because I tried that yesterday, and people could just send messages. Maybe there's a bit of a time that it takes to do that. Okay, great. So I'm not going to answer any more questions now. I've got to go. But thank you so much for watching, and hope to tune in again tomorrow, and maybe at a regular time. Thank you so much, and talk to you soon. Bye-bye.